This is my moment, watch me shine. I'm unstoppable, feel it in my soul. Good vibes only, I'm in control. Turn the music up, let the rhythm roll. I move my body, I'm alive, I glow. Unstoppable, dancing through the fire. Every step higher, taking me higher. Smile so big, can't hold it in. Good vibes, good life, let's begin. Every scar made me wiser. Every tear lit the fire. I don't fear what's ahead.
And I am live, everybody. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, wherever you're watching from. If you are watching this live or replay, happy, amazing Father's Day as well. And for those of you who doesn't know me, my name is Arana Chagsian. Chagsian is my name on my personal because I'm streaming this live on my personal page, Facebook page, on my business page, and on my YouTube page, guys. So, oh yeah, so let me know where you're tuning in. I really want to acknowledge your presence as well. So, I am actually located here in San Francisco, California, and today we're gonna go out for brunch with my family, as all my family are here. So we're going out and take our dad or my husband as well for a brunch with my kids. So yeah, so just that's the reason why I decided to come in here, because I really want, I really want to share this one with you, because I have a lot of inquiries about the business, and also I've heard a lot from my business partners as well, that overnight there's no such thing as overnight success. And this is something that I really want to share a really short video. And also I'm going to explain that how this seed planted beneath the ground, and I can compare that also to your goal. If you have a goal, right, hopefully you have a goal, right, you will not be here on earth if you don't have any purpose in life as well, or if you don't have any goal as well. So for those of you who doesn't know me, my name is Aranel. Again, I'm originally from the Philippines, currently living here in San Francisco, California. I'm working full time in a banking industry in a leadership role, doing detective work. And also, I love everything about it because I study different cases, dealing with different challenges also with my clients, and also doing this business for 6 years. And I'm so excited, guys, because 5 days from now, I mean 4 days from now, I'll be flying, going to Florida, and be a guest speaker of almost 600 people worldwide. Our business partners flying from different places, coming from different cultures, and we will be gathering together in one room. And I will be sharing also all that learnings that I've learned also from my mentors. Yeah, so super excited and nervous as at the same time, because I have been playing in my imagination how the room look like and how can I deliver the topic. But again, in my mind, like, why should I be thinking about the how? The how is none of my business. I'm just gonna do the presentation and share the value of this topic. My topic actually is all about the power of words, and how your words can actually create your reality, and how I manifested my dream. I manifested my husband. I manifested this house that I'm living in. I manifested my dream job. I manifested my kids. I want boy and a girl. And I really don't know. I just don't know. I just keep playing that over and over in my mind. That become my programming. I believe it with full faith, believing the infinite intelligence, whatever you believe in, God or higher power, right? And with that, I've been trying to figure it out, like how I've been manifesting this unknowingly, right? And now I learned the formula And that because of the the words, the words that you started to speak within, not outside, right? Because the outside reality is nothing to do with that. It always the manifestation inwards, and then the outward become your reality, right? So that's going to be my topic in Florida, and I'm super super excited, and seeing my business partners as well, give them a back hugs, right? We talk always virtually, but it's just so different once you surround yourself with like-minded people in one room. There's so much power, guys, once you surround yourself with people that are just right there, that you can touch them, right? You can talk to them face to face. Yeah, so again, I'll be sharing this video and how this video actually, you know, um, resonates to the goal that you're trying to manifest in your life. And I really want to share this, and I'm just gonna give you guys some input as well. All right, so let me share this screen. Okay. Here you go. And I really want to say kudos to the person who shared this one. I borrowed this from Instagram. I remix it, and I've been watching this and I'm so inspired by this actually. So, so here you go, guys. So enjoy it. And here you go. There you go, everybody. It's just so beautiful, right? Yeah, so again, this is a disclaimer. I don't own that video. I remix it on my Instagram and sharing it here in this beautiful social media. And also the disclaimer also, I don't own that music playing in the background as well. Yeah, so my question is with you guys, have you ever planted a seed, then it stood over the soil the very next day you're already expecting to see a tree, right? Comment it in the on the message section, because again, that natures tell us everything, and then whatever happening in nature is also happening within us, right? Yeah. So again, the question is, have you ever planted a seed and then stood over the soil the very next day expecting to see a tree? Of course not, right? Yet that is exactly what do we many of us do with our goals, our dreams, our businesses, or our relationships too, our finances, and even our personal growth journeys. We plant the seed of an idea, okay? We write down our goal, We create our vision board. I called it as a manifestation board. We see, I mean, we say affirmations. We start a business. We begin a new routine, right? We pray, we hope, we believe, right? And then few days later, because see the physical, we we cannot physically see anything happening. We begin to wonder if it's working, right? We begin to doubt ourselves. We begin to question. We begin digging up the seed to see if it is growing. That's why today, as I watched that video that I shared with you guys of a seed planted underneath the ground, I want you to realize that this tiny seed is more than a seed. It is a picture of your life. It is a picture of your goals. It is a picture of every dream God, the higher power, the infinite intelligence, whatever you believe in, has placed in your heart. Because before every harvest, there is a season underground. Before every success, right? Every success story, there is an invisible season. Before every breakthrough that you're dealing right now, there is a period where absolutely nothing appears to be happening, you know, and yet the invisible season is where the most important work is taking place. So remember that video, that day that the seed is planted, the moment a seed enters the soil when you watch that video is very similar to the moment to make a decision to change your life, right? A goal begins the moment you decide, not when you achieve it, right? Not when you see the results, not when other believe in you. It begins the moment you make a decision. The day you make a decision that you are no longer willing to settle, the day you decide that you want something different in your life, right? The day you decide to become a better parent, a better leader, a better entrepreneur, a better version of yourself. That decision is the planting of the seed. And here is what is fascinating, guys. The moment the seed enters the ground, nothing appears to happen. Right? Remember when you planted the seed from day 1 to day 80, right? Something, the world sees nothing. The world sees nothing. Your friends see nothing. Your family see nothing. Social media sees nothing. The seed simply disappears beneath the soil. Okay. Many people's mistake, right? Invisibility for failure. But invisibility does not mean that it's failure. It simply means the process has begun. The moment you write down your goal, for example, that's the process begins. The moment you commit to your dream, that's the process begins. The moment you make a decision and refuse to turn back, the process begins. And just because nobody can see the process, it does not mean it is not growing. So i'm visualizing the seed, right? So you planted it, the darkness underground, right? Imagine being that seed, right? Everything around you is dark. Okay, you just planted your goal, right? Everything is dark around. There is no sunlight, there is no evidence of progress. There is no applause, there is no recognition. I remember the time when I started the business on my first go live, right? Nobody is watching. What did I do? I did it anyway. Nobody's clapping at me, nobody is engaging with me. I still keep doing. That was the darkness season. That's I planted the seed. I made a decision to start the business, right? That's the seed that I planted underneath the ground. And now what I'm gonna do, right? I'm going to go on social media and start my go live. And then there's no engagement, right? There's no sunlight, there's no evidence of progress, there is no applause, there's no recognition, there is no audience cheering you on. Everything is hidden. Many people quit during this stage, guys, not because they are incapable, not because they lack talent, not because they lack of potential. They quit because they cannot see what is happening. The darkness is often when people lose faith, but the darkness is actually where the transformation begins. You know, think about your own life. There were seasons where you felt stuck, seasons where you felt forgotten, seasons where you wondered if your efforts mattered, seasons where you keep showing up but could not see result. If those seasons were not punishment, right? What if what if those seasons were not punishment? What if those seasons were preparation? Because the seed does not complain about the darkness. The seed uses darkness. You know, the darkness become the environment where roots are formed, your foundations, right? And the same is true, and this and that I mean and that the same is true for us. Some of your greatest growth, right, happens when nobody sees it, right? So when you planted the seed under beneath the ground, beneath the surface, it's dark, right? And now it started to sprout, the roots before fruit, right? One of the most powerful lesson we can learn from nature is that root always come before fruit. The seed does not focus on producing apples. The seed focuses on building roots. Okay, because without the strong roots, there can be no lasting growth, right? Most people want the harvest first, right? And this is the problem with us. Seeing is believing. You have to believe it first before seeing the outcome. There's no shortcuts when it comes to your goal. That's why most people want the harvest first. They want the success first before they even start. Oh my God, that's the biggest mistake people do. They want the success first, they want the money first, they want the recognition first, but life does not work that way. The root comes first, the invisible work come first, the discipline come first, the habits come first, the characters, the behaviors come first, and most of all, the faith comes first. Your morning routine is a root, and that's basically I love to do. I do morning routine, or I called it as a self-discipline camp. Your morning routine is a root. Your gratitude practice is a root. Your study time is a root. Your consistently effort showing up every single day is a root. Every day you show up when nobody is watching, you are building those roots. And deeper the roots, the higher the tree can grow. And why most people dig up their seeds? That's the problem. That's the biggest mistake people make is digging up the seed. They start something and then stop. It's just like the grasshopper effect, the grasshopper mentality. You know, when you start a business and you didn't see the result and you don't know that the roots, I mean the seeds, right, is in the preparation, right? And they don't see the result, and they're like, oh, this business is not working for me. And they jump to another business. That's the reason why they call this a grasshopper effect, a grasshopper mentality, because they start here and then they jump from one place to another, right? That's the one biggest mistakes people make is digging up the seed. They start something and then stop, they believe and then doubt, they commit and then quit. Imagine planting a seed every Monday and digging it up every Friday. It would never grow. Yet many people do exactly this thing with their dreams. They start, they stop, they start, they stop, they start, they stop. Right? The universe responds to consistency. Nature's responds to consistency. Growth responds to consistency. The seed grows because it stays planted, and your goal grows when you stay committed long enough for the process to unfold, right? And that's what's going to happen once you will show up every single day. That's where the breakthrough moment. One day, something incredible happens. The seed breaks open. That's where the crack started, right? That's why they call it a breakthrough, because you're trying, after all the love, you water it, you weed it, right? You planted gratitude, affirmations every single day. You started um, to invest in yourself, right? Your mindset. What's going to happen? The seed breaks open, right? From the outside, it may look like distraction, right? But from nature's perspective, that is the transformation. The seed must break before it can become, right? That's why I saw people say it as a breakdown, you know, those challenges probably you're facing, but for me, I see it as a breakthrough moment, not physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. We must break the old habitual behaviors that are no longer serving us. Those old identities, old fears, old excuses, old stories. The person who achieves the goal is never the same person who first wrote it down. Growth requires transformation, guys. And the old version of you must make a room for the new version. And we call that as a vacuum law. You have to get rid of all those limiting belief one by one and make a space, new belief to replace that. It's the same thing with your closet. If your closet is full, or you're just keeping all those old clothes, right? Where are you gonna find a space for the new ones to arrive, right? So, and this is something, the mess that I do mess. I have this, what do you call that? I have this monthly goal, and including cleaning up the mess. And then I started with my office cleaning, or getting rid all those junk stuff on my office, and also started cleaning up on my closet, right? I have all those clothes 10 years ago and I'm still keeping it. It's just like I've been keeping all those paradigms, the old limiting belief that is no longer serving me. Is the same thing. They're like, I have this clothes. Why this clothes been here for a long time? I never use it anyway. Why don't I just give it to someone else that can use it, so I can create a space for the new ones? So that's basically is, right? So yeah, growth requires transformation. The old version of you must make a room for the new version. Okay. And the moment, let's go back to the seed, right? The moment the sprout begins pushing forward, right, it faces resistance, right? The soil passes against it, like all the sprout, right? And like, oh my gosh, I am cracking up slowly. And then once it's crack up, yeah, it's cracking, right? And then the leaf is about to come out, then the soils presses against it. Yet, what can happen with the seed? It continues to grow. Imagine if the seed interpreted resistance as a sign to quit, right? It will never reach the surface. Resistance is often evidence of growth, challenges, what else? Obstacles. Every challenges develop strength. Every setback you are facing right now develop resilience. And every delay develop patience. Sometimes we're so impatient, we want to see the result right away, right? Why? You know, why God is not giving you that yet? Because God knows that you're not ready. You know, He wants to test if you are patient enough to wait for the outcome, and you have not experienced break the breakthrough yet, right? So yeah, and then every obstacles develop character, and that seed alone does not ask for easier soil. The seed grows stronger, and so as we, right? And then after that, once the seed faces the challenges, that's the first sign of life. Eventually, the breakthrough, grand rising, yeah. Eventually, the sprout breaks through the surface. For the first time, guys, the world sees what has been happening underground, right? Yes. People suddenly notice it. If you never give up, people suddenly notice it. People started to follow you. People started to engage with you. People call it success. People call it luck, or maybe call it timing, but they did not see the months of sleepless nights underground, your goals. They don't see the sacrifices that you did. They don't see the laugh, the smile, the crying, the break. They don't see that. They did not see, go back to the plant, right, to the seed. They did not see the roots. They did not see the struggle. They only see, I mean, they only saw the emergence. Never compare your beginning to someone else's breakthrough, okay? You never know how long they spent underground. That's the reason why, with my business partners watching right now, that is the worst thing that you can do, is to compare yourself to that person who are already successful, because you never know how long they have been dealing, you know, dealing, how long they have been underground, spent undergrounds, and now they bloom just like that. There's a lot of training ground, right? And now it all makes sense. Like, oh my God, I'll probably on my preparation period, right? Because I was like that. I was that old version of me in the past when I started the business. Like, I keep comparing myself to other people, you know? And then what's going to happen? The purpose of the seed was never to remain a seed. That's the harvest. The purpose of the seed was never to remain a seed. The purpose was multiplication. One seed becomes a tree. One tree produces thousands of seed. Imagine you planted that, oh my gosh, one apple, right? And now it grew like a tree, and now there's so many apples over there. And now it becomes 1,000 seeds after that. And one dream fulfilled creates possibilities for others. And one person who refuses to quit inspired countless people. Your goal is bigger than you. Your success is not just about you. Your growth creates hope for others. Your transformation becomes evidence that transformation is possible. So when I planted that seed in the garden of my subconscious mind, which is my fertile soil to start this business, I already see the bigger picture that I can be the multiplicator, duplicating myself, that I am here to help other people, so they can help others as well. Just like for me, that idea comes to my mind, like, you know what, my business is really doing amazing. Why don't I just share the blessing to other people? And right now, I am feeding 100 families in Kilifi, Kenya. How is that possible? Because I plant that seed before I see it. I already know that it's already done. I planted that seed in the heart of a mom, that she is also capable of doing something big in her life and in other people's lives. That's multiplication, right? So as you watch this seed beneath the ground, remember this, guys. You may not see the progress. You may not see the results. You may not see the evidence, but but that does not mean nothing is happening. The seed never doubts the season. The seed never questions the process. The seed simply continues becoming what it is created to be. And today, guys, I want to remind you that your goal is a seed, your dream is a seed, your future is a seed. That's why keep watering it with faith, keep feeding it with gratitude, keep protecting it with uh, positive thoughts like affirmations, gratitudes, what are you grateful for, right? And keep nurturing it with action because one day, one day, what is hidden underground will become visible above ground. And when that day comes, people will call you, people will call it an, well, there's something, people will call it as an overnight success. But you alone, you know the truth. You will know the harvest was created in the darkness long before anyone could see it. That's why stay planted, stay faithful, and always trust the process because you know why? The seed already knows how to grow, and so do you. All right. So, again, I hope you get so inspired about that story. I'm going to share it again because this really inspired me so much. And that's the reason why I came in here because, again, we keep comparing ourselves to other people, and then we really don't even know what was their sacrifices. And so this seed, right? So let me share again this one. Here we go. There you go, guys. So again, your dream, your dream is a seed. Keep watering it with faith, keep feeding it with gratitude, protect it with positive thoughts, right? Surround yourself with positive people as well, and nurture it. Always nurture it. And here's the thing, people don't see the sacrifice that you're doing. You know exactly what you're doing, and you are the only one who can change that. Okay? That's why stay grounded, stay planted, and stay faithful, right? With so much gratitude in your heart. And always trust the process. So that's it with me, everybody. So again, happy Father's Day. And if you are flying to Orlando, right? If one of my business partners are flying to Orlando, I can't wait to see you guys in the next few days. Thank you, and God bless.
This is my moment, watch me shine. I'm unstoppable, feel it